So we did, after that, the National Guard on the street, was tanques de guerra, so we did cover the rights that police and INS were doing in Latino barrios, because the TV portrayed that most of the looters were undocumented workers. At the meantime, we cover how there was lack of counseling for all the Latinos, the Latino kids on the LAUS school district. When something worse happened, and the next day, there's a lot of counseling so the kids understand what's going on. So there's more than 100 schools around the area where happening, and there's no attention for the Latino kids. So we covered Eddie Olmos, campaign trying to do the other part of what's happening, where Latinos were taking care of their barrios, and then they were not accepting what was happening. And the way that the Latino owners were left alone, because they don't know the language, they don't know the system, and a lot of them get completely lost. One guy lost his small business, $70,000. He just received a bag of water and food, and no more than that. So a lot of the Latino community was blamed in part for the looting, but very little get help, particularly because a lot of Latino business were burned too. So we trying to find out, we found out later that, of course, it's okay to get along, and we need to get along, but it's very hard to get along when you have a lot of drugs in your community, and you have an angry community, and the authorities leave the barrio out. They don't appear until maybe they think, they kill themselves, and then we can regroup or whatever. I don't know if it was what they were thinking, but that's what really happened, is how we felt into my barrio. So what I wanna just, I prepared just one report. It's in Spanish, of course, and we prepare a translation, so you guys follow me. It's basically what was in the mind of young Latinos that were participating in the looting.
Recuperan de la amarga frustración que les dejó la exoneración a los policías que golpearon a Rodney King. 3 días de caos y destrucción por todo el centro angelino fue el costo. Todo el mundo todavía se pregunta qué provocó el alzamiento de miles. Noticiero Latino buscó respuestas y nuestro reportero Ruben Tapia recogió las voces de quienes participaron en los saqueos.
We, the jury, in the 11-title action, find the defendant Lawrence M. Powell not guilty of the crime of
El
assault.
veredicto de no culpabilidad para los 4 policías acusados de golpear al ciudadano afroamericano Rodney King, dado a conocer el pasado 29 de abril, fue el detonante de la violencia social que sacudió Los Ángeles por 3 días.
I understand full well that we must give voice to our great frustration. I know that we must express our
Los llamados a la calma y la paz hechos por el alcalde de Los Ángeles, Tom Bradley, así como numerosos líderes religiosos de la comunidad negra, no fueron escuchados. Miles de residentes de origen afroamericano y latinos de la zona centro-sur de Los Ángeles, Mid Wilshire, Koreatown, West Hollywood y zonas aledañas salieron por 3 días consecutivos a las calles, saqueando y quemando miles de negocios y centros comerciales. Voltearon carros patrullas, con palos y piedras rompieron todo lo que se encontraba a su paso. Durante los saqueos participaron anglosajones y orientales, aunque en menor medida. La mayoría de los saqueadores eran de origen latino y afroamericano, no solo jóvenes sino familias, incluyendo mujeres y niños. La pérdida de respeto a la autoridad policíaca fue absoluta. Muchos de los saqueos se hicieron en presencia de oficiales del Departamento de Policía de Los Ángeles.
Porque tú miras que toda la gente lo anda haciendo y miras que puedes agarrar las cosas gratis. Tú sabes que tú lo puedes ir a comprar, pero en ese momento lo puedes agarrar gratis, ya que la policía no estaba haciendo nada.
¿Qué sucedió? ¿Por qué la sociedad angelina se vio sumida de repente en el caos y la anarquía?
Lo que yo hice nomás me preparé en mi casa por si querían quemar algo por ahí.
Nuestro entrevistado, joven de cerca de 22 años, explica por qué participó en los saqueos.
Y luego miré que todos estaban quemando, entonces por mi casa hay una tienda y se empezaron a quedar, a robar las cosas, entonces yo dije, pues mejor me meto y antes que quemen voy a agarrar las cosas.
Otro joven de 15 años parece aún no comprender por qué lo hizo.
Y así veníamos caminando y uno de mis amigos, venía con unos amigos y uno de ellos agarraron y no, pues yo, ¿por qué no? ¿Verdad? Así. Y luego aquí, pues cuando veníamos aquí donde yo vivo, estaban quemando una tienda y iban a quemar una tienda antes de la quemada y unos agarraron y porque yo también no.
Diferentes razones, diversas edades. Un hombre maduro, desempleado del área sur central, expone sus motivos.
Sí, yo tomé un aire acondicionado y una licuadora porque la necesitaba, ¿me entiendes? La necesitaba, no por otra cosa, no por robármela, no, porque la necesitaba. Allá donde vivo hace mucho calor, son apartamentos sin aire, no tienen aire acondicionado, las ventanas, pues, unas ventanitas muy chicas, y luego cobran mucho de renta.
Muchas preguntas, pocas respuestas, para explicar la inconformidad ciudadana considerada la más violenta desde los tiempos de la Guerra Civil. El área sur central de Los Ángeles es considerada una de las zonas más pobres de los Estados Unidos. La mayoría de sus habitantes son negros y latinos. Los latinos llegaron ahí en los últimos 12 años. Son recién inmigrantes de México y Centroamérica, con los salarios más bajos, sin conocer el idioma, las leyes y el sistema de los Estados Unidos, abandonados por la mayoría de los políticos porque no son ciudadanos y no votan, recién legalizados o indocumentados, igualmente son víctimas de abusos de patrones y renteros, rodeados de licorerías y con un sistema educativo en crisis que no logra motivar a que los jóvenes terminen sus estudios. La violencia pandilleril, aparejada a la de la policía, es cosa de todos los días. Los 600 millones que prometió el presidente Bush en su reciente visita a Los Ángeles aún no se hacen efectivos. Sin embargo, muchos afirman que se necesitará mucho más de lo prometido, y sobre todo en la reconstrucción de la justicia. Para Noticiero Latino desde Los Ángeles se reportó Ruben Tapia.
Well, you know, my last
Hi, my
comment.
name is Karen. I'm calling from Kravitz Company. Your management company has contacted us regarding...
My last comment is, right now here in Los Angeles is studying Javier Sicilia, which is a poet, Mexican poet, which his son was killed last year, and he initiated a movement for peace and justice in Mexico. And I'm saying this because here what's happening in South Central, and it seems like no sense, you know, it makes very sense, because when the Iran-Contra Gate broke out, you understand that a lot of people from Nicaragua, drug traffickers from Nicaragua, were giving on consignment drugs to a lot of the gangs in South Central. On consignment. Okay, I need a kilo or even a ton of crack. Okay, I give it to you, and then you pay me when you get your money. So that was happening. And then the FEB cut these tags, and they left them away. You know. So in that situation is because they want to overthrow the Nicaraguan government. And a lot of the people that came from Central America came because we're escaping from war. So the politics of the United States has a lot to do with the immigration to this country too. And it's a subject that's very little touched by the so-called mass media, because it's not run by journalists, it's run by business guys. So I think I will let you with this, you know, with your comments or questions, but I think it's a lot of things that we need as reporters, you know, to understand. So we need to be inform our community good and profoundly, because it's the only way that we can really get solutions about many problems that we face today. Thank you.
must confess now at this moment, I am speechless because I'm so compelled to think of what if year before the eruption, 1992 erupted, if these three people who are lifeline, who are with you, with your language, and every day, 24 hours, 24/7 day, if they got together and try to exchange the ideas, if we just had a coffee break, year before, riot may never happen. I dare say that, because I respect the children of all our immigrants who came here too much. And I'm not mourning about what happened in the LA riot. I am so happy to see so many of you are the children of migrant workers who built California. And you are looking at the first Asian immigrant who was hired in 1955 by white daily paper. At that time, I could count to 6 black reporters. At that time, I could not find one Latino reporter. And when I look at you now, the field with the Latinos, most of them I know that. I taught them. I worked with them 30, 40 years ago. Almost every Latino church student on campus are the first of the Mexican family who went to college. And I must pay tribute. You are the gift from those lowliest to low humble people in California who built agriculture here. And I am so proud of you. And I'm really moved to say thank you and tribute to those your parents. The immigrants who came from the Pacific and South border, they are the generation of sacrifice and silence. Every immigrant who came here from Europe, in chain from Africa, from south border, and across the ocean, they must all go through the generation of silence and sacrifice for their children to defer their dream. And in the last, and at that time, I was so lucky. By sheer accident, I started covering civil rights movement in Deep South. And in 1955, when Mama Rosa Parks, tired old black woman, refused to give her seat to white men in Jim Crow bus, that set off the mighty, mighty civil rights movement. That was a truly, truly real American Revolution. And I covered it, and every black church was not only the church, it was an activist. And every black preacher, they had a job to do, yet then who set the stage? Who made Martin Luther King move the mountains and the river? It is a young student, young blacks, who went to Vietnam, Korean War, and they came back to see the Jim Crow. They said, no for shit. They said no. They started, and I'm telling you, that the civil rights movement, there was I call it the cosmic telepathy. I was just fresh out of University of Illinois. When Mama Rosa Parks was arrested, my blood boiled. And wow! See, I have never known Mama Rosa Parks. And I didn't even start too much about black people. Yet, I think it is sort of telepathy. I think among those, the lowest brown people, unseen, unheard, unrepresented by the mass media, white media, for 300 years. You understand? That This is the incredible sight I see here. And what happened is this, man. 1965, there was a civil rights movement. In 1964, there was a civil rights law outlawing Jim Crow. Then what happened? That impact. Martin Luther King and all the young blacks, they brought out through non-violent movement goodwill from even a racist, even Johnson. Our President Johnson was a Southern Democrat. He is the one who brought civil rights law. And next year, to implement the civil rights movement, the 1965 Voting Right Act. With that impact came 1965 immigration reform law. That in turn set off the openly anti-Chicano, anti-Mexican, anti-Asian floodgate. Then came the influx of the new immigrant came. But remember this, the Saigu, that's Korean word Saigu, that means 429. April 29, 429. Koreans call it uniquely, it's their new experience, where they are Koreans born as Korean American. But my point is this, without Mama Rosa Parks, we wouldn't be here. I'm not joking. What I'm trying to say is this, because of the civil rights movement, it opened the goodwill from all the people, and came the 1965 Voting Act, but the 1965 immigration law is incredible. That really equalized immigration from Asia and South America equal to Europeans. That created a new revolution in America. And right now, Los Angeles is the future city of the world. But the problem is this, even under Obama, South Central, White Union, Koreatown, it's a killing field. Nobody has opened this South Central and White Union in Koreatown. You know, I think it can be done. Dream of black kid in South Central, or Chicano baby in East LA, or somebody in Hmong people, Vietnamese in Koreatown. They are as precious as that of king and president and queen. And I think that can be done, you know why? Because back in 1950 when I was a reporter, my fondest hope was that marry a publisher's daughter. That was our dream. You own a newspaper. But you know what happened in the last 50 years? Incredible things happened. And you know, because every one of you is a reporter, editor, promoter. You are also capitalist. You have every laptop in a black kid, Latino kid. See, radio. They can talk back. They are the publisher, man. And I know. Listen, I started talking to Latino kids back in 1970. You know, in California newspaper, I couldn't find, in Northern California, I could not find one Chicano reporter. In 1973, Sacramento Union, this is an old white lady paper, we had the first Chicano. He's a A+ student from Berkeley University. His name is Emmanuel Valencia. He's the first child who came across the border as an undocumented immigrant. And he must be, he's one of the great poets, writer, and scholar. And he's somewhere in Los Angeles. I'd like to meet him. But what I'm telling you, my friend, is that you built this California. And the reason why I see only hope after the riot is you are in, because remember this, you guys grew up white kids, black kids, yellow kids, you all grew up from kindergarten. And the race is not your issue, because you grew up together. And my generation has old values. Look at, thing. After the Saigu, after the LA riot, our established leaders are still in denial. They have never listen, I think we, people of color who built California, we should plead guilty to underestimating our power. Because you have survived. That means you are the children of heroic people. Because California is built by Chinese, Japanese, Filipinos, and Koreans, and Chicanos. And this is your ancestral land. And in today's national dialogue, I don't see any Latino voice. It's all black and white paradigm. And the black and white paradigm must go away. Because they are caught up they are just preying on each other for 300 years. And it is very important that listen, this is a nation of immigrants. Ethnic media has existed because for 200 years, the American media has been an instrument of maintaining a slavery system. And the black ethnic, you ought to read all the black newspapers. It's incredible. It's a heroic. We had got Washington, W.B. Boys, we had black Langstons. It's incredible. But I must plead guilty. I think